because of that, because of these differences, all right. So the way how we handle industrial policy berbeza sikit. So the question that people always ask in political economy or economics is that why country adopt similar industrial policy? Kenapa kita adopt sama tapi produce different outcome? Why is it like that? So that is my overarching question for my PhD thesis and also this book. Right. So in any books ataupun in any journal thesis or whatever you write yang have been reviewed for a couple of times is to combine I use two theories combined, all right, to look at Malaysia. That is number one, developmental state. So developmental state theory ni jarang-jarang orang pernah dengar lah. Right? So developmental, sebab industrial policy and developmental state ni amat berkait rapat. Dikatakan ini adalah Japan dan juga industrial policy peranan dari segi membangunkan ekonomi itu. Walaupun ini kalau mengikut teori ekonomi macam tidak berapa betul, sebab kalau dalam capitalism should have a limited function. Tapi diorang ni ada visible hand di belakang itu, how they choreograph the economy. Alright, contohnya macam in Korea they call it the chaebols. Chaebols ini adalah contohnya macam Hyundai, LG, Samsung. Right? Dulu Samsung ni dia adalah syarikat yang membuat kereta, tetapi dia gagal. Right? Jadi General Park pada masa itu cakap, you don't do car, you do electronic stuff, and they successful. Today everyone use Samsung. They started from car. So developmental state adalah kerajaan memainkan peranan dalam membentuk membangunkan ekonomi. Institution adalah rules of the game. Alright. So institution ni dibahagi kepada dua, formal dan juga informal. So I think in my writing, kanan dalam membangunkan ekonomi ini kerajaan boleh amalkan, semua pun boleh. Mexico pun mengamalkan developmental state, North state, Singapore mengamalkan developmental state, Thailand pun adalah developmental state, alright. Tapi yang membezakan kita ini adalah institution, the rules of the game, right? So the rules of the game ni dibahagi ke law, formal institution macam perundangan yang tertulis. Satu lagi informal institution. Yang ini adalah norms, embedded conventions, ya. Ini contohnya paling senang saya bagi rakan institution ini adalah contohnya contoh jalan raya. Alright. Kalau zebra crossing line, kalau dicontoh lah di UK, kalau ada zebra crossing line, everyone will stop and let everyone pass, right? Cross the road to the other side. Kalau di Malaysia, right, ada zebra crossing line, kita sudah lulus, kita lulus dalam teori apa ni, teori pedestrian to cross the road. Kita sudah tahu, we know is formal institution, is law. Tapi bila praktis, there's no way, it's impossible. Dalam 10 mungkin satu kot yang akan berhenti, untuk let people. Kita tak berhenti, we just cross and then tunggulah kereta belakang, kalau dia nak berhenti, berhentilah. Right? So that kind of culture, that kind of norms, alright, is what we call informal institution. Sama juga lah dalam kita punya perlembagaan, banyak undang-undang, tapi adakah itu dilaksanakan? So itu adalah institution, the rules of the game. It's not something straightforward, So can adopt developmental state, government can adopt developmental state, introduce a similar industrial policy macam di Malaysia, contohnya Look East policy, kita ada Vision 2020 which together with Look East policy. Tapi kenapa berbeza? Kenapa kita tidak macam Jepun ataupun macam contohlah Singapore for that. Walaupun kerajaan is part of the somehow help to facilitate the economy, tapi dia ada 3 orang yang utama di dalam desa. It should be a very strong political elite. A lot of argument on this. And then bureaucrats have to be technocrats. Contohnya macam di Korea, the creme de la creme, right? Similarly with Singapore, and selected enterprise. Maksudnya yang terpilih sahaja yang akan bekerjasama dengan kerajaan. Bukan terpilih, maksudnya all these are smart enterprise. People with competence, and it's based on merit. Contohnya macam Samsung, LG, Hyundai. All these are family-based company. When they first started, global, they are MNC, right? So I combine these two theory. So I contribute. Kita panggil triangular institutional arrangement. Simpanan nama sikit kan, because it was introduced by me. So the goal is that these 3 actor, dia bila 3 actor ni combine, dia akan menjadi dia ada double sort. Give a positive outcome, or they come together will give negative outcome that only benefit certain company. Right? So this book is based on elite interview. So saya interview 27 orang, all elite policy maker, termasuklah Tun Dr. Mahathir himself, and then Tengku Razali, and then a few more. All right, all these the people who actually draft policy lah, the one that, so all these based on the real life experience. So why automotive? I think when we talk about political economy, so that's generally about the theoretical perspective lah. All right, the general view of political economy in Malaysia. Now, to strengthen my case, right, to strengthen my theory, right, so I use automotive as a case, right. because automotive, number one, mana-mana negara pun, if you look at first industrial revolution in UK, steam engine, so that's where, you know, Jaguar, apa ni, and then apa ni kereta di UK lagi ni, Range Rover, alright, and then the second industrial revolution, right? So these are German driven, like Volkswagen, so and then so all this based on pretty much capital intensive, maksudnya berdasarkan engine, you know, very capital intensive punya activities, and mostly cars, related to cars, all right. So it involves 3,000 parts in one car. Right. Kalau kita tengok sekarang pun, China is also working hardly on the on their car manufacturing as well. Selain daripada electrical, apa yang kita dengar sekarang, industrial 4.0, you know, all this software, alright, that's important, but this is important too, alright, this cars thing. And then it's national pride and national interest, right? So Malaysia is the only country in Southeast Asia has its own national car. After dulu Indonesia ada apa ni, masa fail project, ialah sebab, you know, it is written, it is not me saying this, but it's written and it's proven, sebab dia bagi anak dia, Tony Soeharto, because too much of corruption, then the project fell. All right. So, but Malaysia tidak. Malaysia move forward, you know. So, so we have our own national car. So not after 2017, Vietnam pula ada pula kereta dia sendiri dipanggil VinFast, right? So kereta Vietnam itu dia berkolaborasi dengan BMW. You can Google today. They just made apa ni, had their you like, aduh, jauhnya Proton, right? So they just started in 2017. So can you see how fast they are, right? And of course, for in an Islamic country, in OIC, we are the only country in the world that have our own national car owned by own, right? Tidak ada orang kecuali lepas after 2017, ialah kita collaborate dengan China, alright. By the way, most of British car, contohnya macam Range Rover, Jaguar, ini adalah di bawah Tata Group. Tata Group is an Indian car manufacturer company. It doesn't belong to British anymore. All right. And then after that, and then Sweden, contohnya macam Volvo, it's under Geely Zhejiang, right? Kecuali kereta-kereta Jepun macam Toyota, they don't have much, dia tak jual share dia banyak dengan syarikat lain. So so national car is not just building car, but it's also 3,000 parts. I was wondering as well, sebab saya cakap ni industrial capacity, bila saya interview Tun Dr. Mahathir, I was given the 30 minutes, tapi selepas bercakap lama kan, so dia macam sejam lebih. Tapi masa tu masa hangat lah, because masa tu kan 2016, dia baru resign daripada Petronas, resign daripada Proton untuk mewujudkan parti bersatu. So I think he told me everything lah, right? So he told me a lot of things. But whether we like it or not lah, right? I think Mahathir at that time he has a vision. Dia melihat bahawa national car itu adalah untuk mengukuhkan aktiviti-aktiviti pembuatan mereka ni menggunakan tangan mereka dan juga berfikir bagaimana untuk, you know, build engine, benda-benda yang complicated. Bukan setakat hanya graduate degree dengan engineer duduk di office. Dia tak nak. Dia mau orang buat, dia nak orang actually build engine. And the one that built Proton engine, Datuk Kamal, I interview him as well, yang kalau kita tengok ala engine kita sendiri, ya, our nationally owned Malaysian, made by a Malay guy, right? So I know it wasn't really good at the first place, tapi gradually okay lah, right? So so basically to build industrial capacity, sebab you know, all these component ini banyak sebenarnya there's so many manufacturing process, banyak dia punya production chain tu. For your information, macam mana-mana I think, have you heard of Lloyd, and then I think there are few. These are Bumiputra Malay, who actually started from building, producing car component for Proton. Now they produce for BMW, for Volkswagen. Kalau kita orang perasan, kereta Vios tu, dia tak ada aerial kan? Tak ada. Where's the aerial? So I was thinking, where's the aerial? Because I talked to this Lloyd company. So Lloyd designs aerial yang terletak kat belakang, macam yang kasih panas. Kalau hujan kita turn on that heater tu. So there's one small line. So this made by Malaysian, yeah. So whether you like it or not lah, right? Whatever people talk about, the former Prime Minister, all right, but he has helped a lot of Bumiputra lah, all right, to engage in global production network. So the moment when you are competing a tier 1 manufacturer for cars, all right, so you can sell to all these big cars like BMW, Volkswagen, Bentley, and then of course this is for structural change lah. So kalau kita lihat ever since after 1985, so selepas kita ada perkenalkan kereta kita sendiri pada 1985, so our structure have changed to heavy industrial development and forming our competitive advantage. Kita tidak pernah ada kereta sendiri, tapi sekarang kita sudah ada kereta sendiri. Dulu kita hanya pada 60-an, 50-an, 30-an, 1930 tire to rubber production, we convert into tire, to Volkswagen, to Volvo, to Mercedes. But now we are part of, producing some of the components. So in the end of the day, all this car automotive activity is to let Bumiputra leading industrial development. Whether it's a lot of Bumiputra actually involved in car manufacturing that we thought that we could never do it at the first place, right? So and of course personally I love cars lah, I like cars too. So that's why but it's not just my personal component for any heavy industrial development. Bila kita cerita tentang heavy industrialization project, mana-mana negara pun kan akan menggunakan kereta sebagai sektor untuk push industrial development so that we can modernize the economy. So termasuklah Vietnam contohnya sekarang ada VinFast. If you can Google right now, you will see their latest car in 2020, right? And then China, for instance, banyak. China lagi hebat. Well, as we all know, at 800 BC, they created the first photostat machine. So today, they photostat a lot of cars, including Evoque, Range Rover, to Starlight. They copy exactly the same. Now, industrial development is political by nature, all right? We don't have advantage at the outset, macam Malaysia. We never thought that in the today we manufacture car. Kita tidak terfikir pun. But because of a strong vision, like I say, dalam developmental stage, you need a strong political elite, all right? So the government, so kita kena ada big push, big push untuk mewujudkan industri itu. People believe in you or not, but we have to give that big push. Nobody believe at the first place kita boleh buat kereta. Even Professor Jomo banyak kritikan terhadap Mahathir, alright, tentang big push. But towards the end, now if you ask him, he will agree with you that that big push matters. Bukan pasal Proton, tetapi vendor-vendor yang dahulunya yang bekerja dengan Proton sekarang sudah upgrade menjadi first tier for car for parts and component manufacturer, right? So so the role of state is crucial, all right? walaupun dia bertentangan dengan neoliberal lah. Neoliberal paradigm ni dia maksudnya, they should be limited, right? Now, so we call this developmental state approach, but the state is influenced by country-specific institution. So macam kita, we have ethno development. Ethno development maksudnya we have a race consideration, which is for Bumiputra. Kalau di Korea ataupun di Jepun ataupun di Taiwan, so they don't have this important agenda, right? Itulah dia, kalau Samsung tidak boleh buat, dia suruh Hyundai buat, right? And they are not scared of whether or not mendapat undi ke tidak, right? So yeah, something like that. Okay, we will go into we can go deeper on that later. Okay, and then of course rent and patronage is part of policy making processes. I think most of you pernah dengar tentang, kalau dalam bahasa Malaysia ni kita panggil penaung dinaung, patronage. Rent ini dia bukan corruption, tetapi so ini adalah part of a process dalam industrial development. So because of this, so it become very political, right? Ini itulah Proton contohnya, walaupun doesn't make a lot of profit before orang berkolaborasi dengan Geely, alright. Tapi selalu mendapat special preference brands, alright. And of course patronage lah, banyak supplier yang bergantung dengan Proton. Very strong patronage system yang wujud dalam industrial development. Sama juga pada awal mulanya, so that depends so much of government subsidies, but important at the first place. Alright. Brand and patronage is important at the first place. Tetapi dia tidak boleh terlalu lama. Them be independent. Right? They want to see something that you're going to open up through policies, right? So this is part of the process lah. When I talk to most of the meeting staff Rebecca, 7 hari sebelum dia pencen. So mana kan 7 hari sebelum dia pencen, jadi dia bilang, you turn on your recorder, I'm telling you everything. So I was so lucky lah, And everything is in the book, it's okay. They bilang you can publish, no problem, right? So so NAP ini basically adalah memberitahu yang kepada all these penaruh stakeholder that we opening up lah our economy. So in 2006, 2009, 2020 kita adalah NAP 1, 2 and 3, right? NAP 3 tu yang ada kereta terbang tu, there was a joke back then, but not really kereta terbang lah. It was just a prototype. Malaysia ingin invest lah, right? So these are the policies lah. Tapi kalau kita delve into that policy, still Proton have still advantage lah, Proton and Pro 2. Now Pro 2 is different, ya. Pro 2 adalah national car, tetapi it is mainly controlled by Daihatsu. Most of these Daihatsu yang control engineering side. Malaysia hanya control sales and marketing. All the component engineering semua itu adalah Daihatsu. Daihatsu is one of the subsidiary company of Toyota. So that is why Pro 2 no problem. So dia tidak ada masalah. It's always good. And then CEO Pro 2 itu alhamdulillah kita punya alumni. Dia engineering faculty dahulu back in the late 70s, yeah. So but they are different lah. They are different lah. Pro 2 itu berbeza sikit. So because of our strong grip by our political leader, right? So we suffer three things lah. Number one is technological upgrading. Kita tidak dapat upgrade. Pada mulanya Proton ini is very sexy because it's new, right? Volkswagen mau, Peugeot mau, Nissan mau, Suzuki pun mau. So, banyak orang mau berkolaborasi dengan mereka untuk upgrade. But big boss cakap no, because it will compromise Bumiputra agenda. Okay, fine, right? So that's why we can never build a partnership lah, right? And then unable to expand export industry. Kalau Korea macam Hyundai dahulu, diorang punya monitoring process of any performance is based on export performance, right? So you get this subsidy, you must export at least 10,000, right? So that's how General Park discipline disiplin apa ini disiplin ini syarikat. He can do that because that time there was the Second Republic of South Korea. Second, dia masih yang lama, So the Third Republic ini adalah yang sudah democratize lah. So it's a bit different now. Ini antara yang because I get to know this, kita cerita pasal that, then so that's where dan Toyota. Sebab kalau Nissan pun they already work with dengan France. So the car industry tend to merge with one another sekarang. Jadi decision to collaborate dengan Geely sebenarnya is a smart move. Dan this is nothing new. Sebenarnya Volkswagen I think 2006 sudah mau berkolaborasi dengan Proton, but at that time kerajaan cakap no. Alright, because bila dia berkolaborasi, vendor-vendor di dalam Proton itu kan tidak boleh kenalah mengikut merit sudah. Tidak boleh lagi, you don't that ethno development does not apply. So that one is undermine our national interest to help our agenda, which is to help Bumi Putra. Tapi Geely on the other hand, they understand the national interest. So that's why there's a special arrangement lah here. Itu yang beza dia. And it is an important move. I mean, kadang-kala kita nampak juga the reality-nya. Kita nampak sekarang kereta Proton is quite okay. SUV X70, X50 banyak di kereta. I think not lah. Dia tidaklah macam BMW or GLA, GLC. I guess it's a positive move from the Malaysian government. Adakah orang beli X70? Okay.
Okay, Pak. Okay, Dr. Alright. So ada soalan daripada viewers. Okay.
So kalau tak ada, I just want to share. I have this contact dengan Springer. So if you have your thesis, alright, you let me know. I share you this email. Nama dia Alexandra Campbell. Dia based di Singapore, alright. She likes thesis, right? Now, of course lah, you bagi tahu, if you want to write this, you show your intention. I even can share you the how I write to tell her, okay, saya nak terbitkan buku ini, right? I think, like I say, no thesis should go in two ways. You should publish your thesis as a book. Nanti dia akan bagi tahu guideline bagaimana, very responsive, very responsive. And then that guideline, if you need help, I always can help you. I think it's pretty much straightforward lah. Kan? Dia punya guideline tu straightforward, but to do that is quite technical lah, right? But it's not really that difficult. It can be done to publish with Springer if you are interested, right? Because they will guide you, they will help you, and they are very responsive. So I believe, I think we should. I believe we should let our convert our thesis into book lah. I mean, if you wanted to, right? So saya ada contact tu, you can I can share with you if you want, right? Proses dia pun memang susah pun. Even bukan susah, dia very tedious lah. They take a lot of your time, right? Tapi work is already there. Your thesis, the 200, 300 pages sudah ada. Not too technical. So kalau too technical, tak ada orang boleh faham. So it's not sellable. Basically, is to convert those pieces more readable punya piece lah.
Doktor, alright. Terima kasih atas perkongsian yang sangat baik. Okay, please. Kita tiada soalan, so kita tamatkan sesi perbincangan dan bicara buku ini. Baik, terima kasih semua.
Alright.
Ada lagi satu soalan tu daripada Rosaini.
Oh, okay.
Alright, soalan seterusnya daripada Encik Rozaimi daripada UiTM kampus jika di Jepun mereka terkenal dengan developmental state credibility mereka dan teknokrat mereka. Bolehkah doktor memberikan komen terhadap developmental state dalam konteks Malaysia dari segi keberkesanan efektifnya opportunity and technocrats di Malaysia?
Firstly, we do have I can say that kalau kita pergi interview pergi lihat pada Malaysia, we kind of have MITI di Malaysia ini adalah diwujudkan oleh Mahathir when he was the Deputy Prime Minister, dan dia wujudkan MITI. So dia ingin model yang sama seperti Jepun. So yes, di Japan they are very famous with their technocrats. This Kalmer Johnson punya work back in 1990s. So we talk about how the Japanese only recruit the creme de la creme, the best of the best. Similarly, Malaysia pun begitu juga. Kita ada PTD, PTD usually you have to go through exam. Kan exam tu bukanlah mudah, kan? I mean, yalah, bukan mudah. So you have this process. But it's just that, like I say just now, the political and bureaucratic ties, all right? MITI are staffed with educated people, all right? Tetapi the political interference, all right? The political interference to some extent have undermined some of their professional decision, to some extent, right? I think this is well written everywhere. Bukan saya saja cakap, but it's well written. A lot of smart people actually didn't really go up the ladder, right? Tapi yang so-called psychopath pula dapat naik, Psychopath ni dalam bahasa Sabah pandai jack lah, Jack. So I guess, terkejut saya, Dr. Nurul Aida.
Maaf Dr. Firdaus. Sorry.
So this is where it compromise the smart people in the bureaucracy, but the system as such in Malaysia is to have creme de la creme in the bureaucracy. Namun, like I said, because of a very long political, one political party for a very long time, and then the blurry line, and then their professionalism to somehow undermine because they need to meet the political interests, right? This is the problem lah di Malaysia. Okay, I guess it's not easy to manage that. It requires a really strong, deep reform lah, really deep reform.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So jika di penghujung majlis lah. Okay, terima kasih Dr. Firdausi, terima kasih kepada penganjur dan juga kepada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang hadir pada hari ini untuk menjayakan sesi.
Thanks a lot Dr. Firdausi.
Terima kasih Dr. Azmida, thank you.
Bolehlah kami jemput lagi.
Terima kasih Dr.
Boleh.
Okay, thanks Dr. Firdausi. Good sharing.
Thank you, sir. Anda tampak pula.
Sorry, tak boleh buka kamera, entah kenapa kamera rosak. Kamera pun merajuk.
Boleh bah kalau kau.
Boleh bah kalau kau. Right.
Okay, Dr. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for attending.